Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the third lesson for Java. My name is Dennis Gishangi, the Director Development at DUSYS. I'm joined with my assistant in getting the lesson. So I hope everybody looked at the prerequisites from the second class, and then you needed to have followed what we did in the last class. Today we start with a Chinese proverb and an African proverb. The Chinese proverb says, if you pass a flower around, a little of the fragrance will remain in your hand. And another one for coders, especially when the bugs are too many, they say no man would destroy the entire beehive just because it's been stung by one bee. So that is to give us some confidence on the errors we may have encountered as we did the coding. We'll pick up on the coding from where we left off. So we started the Marvin project. And we had this. So the first thing we want to do is remove to improve on the display. We would change this so that we are able to use the table format. And to do that, again, we will drag drop on the palette. So click here to get the palette. We can minimize the text area. Then on the palette, we will select, we need a scroll pane. And inside the scroll pane, we will have a table. So the table will sit inside the scroll pane. You can even run the code. I encourage you to be able to run the code as often as possible to get started. So the easiest way to add the data in the table is to put in as an array, but because we want some dynamism with the values, we will create, so I've created a blank table here. Because we want to add some dynamisms, we will create a different structure. So we can look at the source code. So at the bottom of the code, you'll see we've added the table. I think the table already comes with its own scroll pane. So I think you don't even need to add the scroll pane. And what we want to do is be able to put in values to the table when we add. So when you add these items, so we create a new object which is called a vector. So on the definition here, we'll create one vector. A vector is a data structure which you can be able to use to put one row. So if you put one vector and one vector together, that makes a table. So vector string, we call it table data equals new vector string. So the vector, it's underlined in red because it's not yet, we've not done an import of the vector. So on the, you can be able to do an import. Java util vector, and when you import, you see here the vector. So this will help you know when there's an error. So when you create that, on the code to initiate the components, because here is where the components are being initiated. On the text, we can edit. We need to reinitiate it again. Because here it's initiated as an empty table. So on the public new frame, which is our constructor, we can be able to do table equals new. I prefer to import instead of doing the way the initiator happened here by calling the whole string. You'll notice here we call the whole table. Then what you can be able to do is import these. So when you import that, then you'll be able to initiate it afresh. So on the constructor class, you do new table. Then on the table, you will need two things. So we also have to create a vector for, within here we can create a vector string, which will just be one row for titles. So the good thing with a vector is when you want to add an item, unlike an array, which is hard to find in runtime, a vector is just to add. So like now we want to add the item, quantity, price, and the total. So we can initiate now the table with the new, you start to initiate with the data. So you do table data, and then title, then you can try and run that, see if there's any error. Oh, it's saying this is so I think this is a private class. I can do a shortcut and make it public here. I can create another private class for init to initiate the then call the I'll do the definition of both the title and the so once I start that, I'm having a name conflict because this extends a class, so I have to change the name. So when I run that, then I'll have the table, the new table. Oh, I need to add this function, just a second. So now I've added the table with the column names. Now what we want to do is when you click on the button compute, we want it to populate these with the new data. I need to go to the design and ensure the table is not populated with any data. So I can pick the design of that alone and be able to look at the behaviors here on the left side. So the event to be able to add the data will be the same one that we had last time. So the code where we were doing the populating, so instead of populating these, we will now populate, we'll create a new vector. That can be a private vector. So the code for the action button, here we will add a new vector. That will be, we call it raw data. Then we add the data. Now we populate it with the items. So raw data add. That's how you add a variable. So the first variable, they have to be in the same order as string. So you'd have the raw data, then you do the raw data add the quantity, then raw data add the price, and raw data we add the line, what we got in the line total. And then now we'll add the whole table on the table data. Now we'll add this row. After we've done that, we need to be able to display the data to refresh the table. So to refresh the table, we have to get the default table model. The table model is the construct that helps the data behind the scene. You could also have gotten it from the first base part. The table model is not yet declared. Then you do table model fire table data changed to be able to inform the table that it's been changed. So we'll need to import. I can try and do a repaint after I redraw the table. We need to declare to do an import. Again, when you're using the IDE, it will assist you. So you're doing an import on swing table default table model. Then you can try and run that. On most occasions, if you run the code, there will be some errors. So it's extremely normal to find some errors. So if I do salt 20 compute, I need to also redraw. Okay, let the table change. Oh, I think it's hooking on. I need to remove the existing table model. Because we don't want it to have a table model to start with. Let's see whether we can force a refresh. A challenge I find when you use IDEs is the system tends to the IDE wants to overwrite its code on top of what you're doing, so at times it's a bit of to quicken the class. What I'll do is I'll just I think there was add the table. I'll just create the table statically and add it to the I'm hoping this is a scroll component. So I'll pick a scroll pin. So it's called scroll pin 3. Then on the source, what I'll do is I'll just I'll add my table to the scroll pin. Scroll pins, let me remove one. So we have one scroll pin that we can see. Scroll pin 2. Then we run the code. In my deletion, I did remove the text area, so I just need to replace that again. the errors come at the bottom. The text, but I'm still not getting the table, so I still have to fiddle with it. I see we are out of time. We'll re-edit the video and then upload the blog. Shortly, so the blog would have the other details. So today's code, we had a slight error, but we'll be able to fix that and upload in the blog. Okay, thank you for listening.